All right, so we are going to try to start building cabinets. I'm gonna take a shot at trying to build these ones first. So I was thinking just one long cabinet, hopefully one piece from the back of the door all the way from right here, all the way forward to maybe all the way to here, maybe just the windowsill, maybe right above, maybe flush, I don't know. I figure the more storage I have, the better, because I started thinking about the things that I want to store in here as far as skiing and surfing and hiking and just living. It's a lot of stuff that you start having with you. So more storage, the better. This is one of the places where I can go a little bit bigger with the cabinets and be less careful, because I'll be just having my desk here and my fridge, so as long as the fridge can open, and then my cubby right here, my cubbies. But then on this side behind me, this is going to be the couch right here where I'm going to be sitting, so it can't be the shelf can't be too low, because you'll hit your head on it when you're sitting down and standing up because you're sitting on the couch. So that one I got to do a little smaller and be careful with. This one I can kind of have a little bit more freedom in. So that's why I'm starting with this one. What I originally did was I cut a piece of plywood 3/4, because I have a bunch of 3/4 that I need to use. Otherwise I'd probably use 1/2 inch for the supports and then 3/4 for the floor, if you will, like the bottom of the shelf. But I have 3/4. So piece of 3/4, I cut it 15 inches by 15 inches, and I'm just fitting it roughly right here. This is after like an hour of cutting and sanding and fitting randomly to try to get this to fit. So this is how I've been doing it. So you have to, or you've got to try to your best to have a flat cabinet, right? So you want a flat cabinet face here and a flat cabinet face here, ideally. So I am taking a board on top of my supports for my kitchen, which aren't perfect, but they're the closest thing I have to a flat surface in here. And then I'm taking my piece that I've been cutting, and I'm just going to wedge it in here. Okay, so this is pretty much flat with my board that's protruding up from my flat surface here. And then I've been sanding it and cutting and sanding and cutting and trying to get this as snug as possible, so I can use this piece as my template for cutting I already have this 1, 2, 3 more just for this side. And then I might be able to take it and use it on that side too. We'll see. But right now I'm just planning on using this for this side. It doesn't have to be perfect, I don't believe, because I'm going to put these cross supports in the back, and those are going to be what's connected to the framing strips, which are right here, over there, and then all the way in the back right here. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 connection points. There's going to be 4 of these supports, or 3, probably 3 actually, now that I think of it, because that cuts the space in half pretty well. And then it'll just be plywood like this between each one, and then it'll be probably a piece right here, a little bit downset, I believe, for a hinge, for like a piano hinge for a door to be able to come up like this, or like a latch. And then that'll just be 2 of those, so 2 big latches, probably. I mean, I'm kind of just doing this as I go. There's a video in the description of where I'm getting this idea or this technique from Lovely, I'm forgetting their names, but they're super helpful van builders. About a year ago or so is when they were documenting their van build, and they're very practical, and they take their time to explain things. I'm also probably going to be building my toilet like they build theirs, so check their stuff out. But let's see if we can sand this a little bit more and then cut 2 more pieces just like it, and then sometimes you just got to go for it. I have no idea what I'm doing, no idea if it's going to work, but we're going to go for it. going to be working on the little catches that hold the cabinet doors shut, more or less. I found that when I'm driving on a dirt road, a pretty bumpy dirt road, they don't actually hold. Right there, they're pretty firm, but when I'm driving on a dirt road, they bump loose. So I'm going to have to figure out some sort of latch or something to hold them closed otherwise. But the actual latch part, or the actual catch part on the inside, is great for every normal road and for sitting still. So we're going to be putting those on these newly installed cabinets, which actually have quite a bit of flex to them. So they actually might not stay closed using those catches. They might have to be bolted down using something else. But hey, that's what happens when you build your own cabinets, and it's the first time you've built anything. So another day working on the cabinets. I ordered up these little latch things right here, like you see on gates, and just a simple latch system, hoping that I could find an angle that would work with these and the other side as well. I think I found an angle that will work. There isn't an easy way to do this, given that I'm trying to attach from here down to here, or here to here, and this is thin wood and it's different pieces, so I'm just gonna go for it. I kind of messed around for a couple minutes, thought I found a good angle, so I'm gonna see if I can attach it at that angle. If it works on one, then I'll try to repeat it at all of them, and I don't have anything else to say.
That's hard to believe.
Okay, as you can see, it's not exactly an easy little job here. It's actually hard to do one-handed. So there we go. I guess I do want it tight, technically. I had to offset it a little bit so they're not straight on, but I don't think it's too noticeable. And really, they're meant to be practical, not pretty. I even took a hammer to this softer wood on the edge here and flattened it just a little bit, just so that this would have less friction, this little piece here. And it's not so bad now. We'll see if it stands the test of time. Let's do the other ones.
Violet breeze. Violet.
Alright, some of those are a little rough, and we'll see if they stand the test of time. But each one had to go in at a different angle because each cabinet is different. It's mounted a fraction of an inch higher or lower. There's a fraction of an inch more wood in that case. This is just what comes when you do things yourself, and a lot of what you do is imprecise because you don't have a ton of experience to draw from. But they work, and for a while there I didn't think they were going to work. Let's test them for a couple of days and see if they stay closed while bumping down the road. Okay, so the basic idea with these cabinets was do that template piece that I was showing you at the very beginning, put that up on the wall, make sure you're very happy with it, copy it as many times as you want supports in your cabinets. So my cabinets are like 70 inches long or so, and so I have 3 supports. I made everything out of 3/4 plywood because it's all load bearing or important for the structure of the cabinet, so might as well just make it stronger at the beginning. I don't know much about wood's structural integrity, so I just was using 3/4. I tried to keep everything as single pieces as possible, so the bottom piece of the cabinet is all one piece of plywood, and then the templates go on top of that, and then in the back are just slats for connecting to the furring strips in my walls. So it goes bottom pieces, templates, strips in the back. I did 2, one on the top, one near the bottom, and then I did 2 in the front as well. One for where the hinge for the cabinet would go, so where the piano hinge would attach to, that was at the front of the cabinet, and then one at the bottom of the cabinet for the cabinet door to actually then rest against. The doors are actually 1/2 inch plywood, so the structure of the cabinet is all 3/4, but then the piano hinge doors are 1/2 inch plywood, and then just faced with this charred barnwood stuff from Home Depot. And then just a couple of handles on there. Got those catches in there, which work fine for these cabinets over here, which turned out great. But then for the ones in front of me, the smaller ones, those ones needed the latches 100% to stay closed. They all needed the latches to stay closed while driving, because when I'm driving, everything's bumping around and opening up. But hopefully that will hold now. We will see. A lot of my storage is in these cabinets, so I am super happy that they are in now and don't look that bad. Somebody actually asked me the other day, did you buy those or make those? So I thought that was pretty flattering. I'm pretty sure I'm going to take some tool chest liner, some no slide kind of fabric stuff, and put those in the bottom of the cabinets, just so that anything I set up there while I'm driving has less of a tendency to want to move around, because right now it's just plywood in there. And then perhaps for the sides, maybe some sort of fabric. I'm thinking about doing fabric on these metal exposed poles here, so maybe whatever the same fabric is. The reason why this one over here is smaller than the one behind me is because right here is going to go the couch/bed. So when I'm sitting on that, my head comes to about right here, and I don't want any chance of accidentally hitting my head, or at least as little chance as possible. So that's why this one is so much smaller than this one. This one is pretty big just because there's not going to be any standing going on underneath it. It's just a desk, and I think I'm just going to do 2 shelves, negative space shelves over there. Other than that, they are pretty sexy. I'm pretty happy with them, and we'll see if they stand the test of time.